Got another Bread IPA coming at you on digesting beer. And it's Kent Falls Waymaker Bread IPA. One of their most consistently brewed beers, I believe. And they have a couple other Brett Pales I've had. This isn't even my final form. Bread IPA is their other one I've had twice. And I think it varied a lot both times. And then recently I had the Brett Pale Ale called Horse Mask Party from them. It was a lot softer, and I liked that quite a bit, but I didn't call it an IPA. And I haven't had the Waymaker. I guess they have fruited versions called Juice Maker, like pineapple juice maker. And this one, I don't know. Yeah, there's no bottling date or anything on their beers, but they tend to not stick around too long. And I haven't seen it around at this one store that I go to every once in a while. It's 5.6% alcohol. It says drink fresh, but it will probably age better than your normal IPA, I'm sure. And I've been drinking a lot of hoppy Brett beers lately, so I feel like my palate is ready to understand exactly what's going on with these ones. So they use Chinook Glacier and Centennial hops in this beer, which are all slightly older hops that are known for a pininess and some citrusy character. This one's real pale, and it's not crazy carbonated like a lot of Bread IPAs I have from, and also including ones from Kent Falls like Horse Mask Party, but that has a very light haze and it's really pale, and the head looks pretty nice. Maybe I'll pour a little bit in there, more in there. It's still well carbonated, but the bread is not going crazy with this one. Ooh. And this actually reminds me more of, right off the bat, of Horse Mask Party. Softer, really candy-like aroma, rather than a really chalky, barnyard aroma you get from some Bread IPAs with the harsh hop grassiness. This is, it smells like cotton candy, bubble gum, Smarties. There's no tartness going on this one. At least not yet, but I kind of doubt it. It's not aged or oak aged or anything with Brett. And there's just maybe a touch of some kind of resinous quality, spicy pepper in there, but it smells almost, like a Saison. Or, actually reminds me of Duvel, a Belgian strong pale ale, but I know that doesn't have American hops in it, nor does that Brettanomyces, but this Brett strain, I guess on their site they wrote was an especially fruity one, so might be right up my alley. Ooh, much drier on the palate. Yeah, and I get some bitterness, some chalkiness in there. No aspirin off the bat, but there's still some juicy, slightly tropical, like juicy fruit Brettanomyces presence, I think, too, going on. And I think we're getting a little bit of a smooth jazz soundtrack from above, you might hear. Maybe not. Well, that's nice. It starts off really, really smelling like so many different kinds of candy. Like it's going to be really sweet. And then it's got, a good amount of, now I'm getting some chalkiness on the tongue. And there's some hop bitterness going on, definitely. But there's still some body to it. I was thinking maybe it was going to be like really, really dry, because there wasn't, at least so far, there's been no extra sugars for the Brett to ferment in here to create loads of carbonation like lots of Brett beers. But it's not crazy dry. It's not like they bottled it really, really, really with really low gravity or anything. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a sort of juicy body that quickly gets spicy and dry, and a very slight aspirin. It's not too medicinal quite yet, but the phenols are coming strong on the tongue, but they aren't quite as much there in the aroma. It seems very estery to me. It's not quite banana, I wouldn't say. It's not banana like a Hefeweizen is. And I'll have to I keep thinking about whether it's too dry and there's too much bitterness. I don't think so. I think there's just enough juicy body to help wash away some of that chalky bitterness that I'm noticing from the Brett. But it's usually that kind of chalky Brett bitterness is combined with more of a wild, horsey field flavor from Brettanomyces. But maybe that's just the beers that I've had. Maybe that's not true at all of it. That's just different Brett strains that bring out different flavors. It can still be very fruity, but also very dry with Brett, and that's what's really fun with these beers, and one of the reasons I enjoy Brettanomyces. And I'm not getting the normal Centennial Chinook blast of pine at all. There's some really not quite watered down, but definitely some seltzery type orange juice, citrus flavors. I'm not quite getting lime or anything, but it's definitely orange and grapefruit and lemon, but all in a very bright, spritzery format. It's not juicy and sweet. I can't think of any product to compare it to exactly, except for if you mixed like some grapefruit seltzer into a Sprite, so it's not that sweet. But it's pretty refreshing, and yeah, that chalkiness and bitterness is not getting too much. It's not finishing with that harsh bitter pill like you chewed on an aspirin sort of thing that I noticed from last time I had when I had their other Brett IPA. I would say this is kind of somewhere between their Horse Mask Party and their other Brett IPA. This isn't even my final form. That's the name of that Brett IPA. I've been avoiding saying it because it's hard to remember exactly. And it's a cool name, actually. They have a lot of cool names for their beers, because with that Brett IPA, it's going to age. It's like we bottle it, we put the label on it, and the beer's like saying, "Oh, this isn't even my final form." And it's especially true for these Brett IPAs where the hops will fade more and they'll get more funkiness. I bet I've gotten this one when it's really fresh, and I haven't gotten sort of older pineier hops coming out. It's still really bright and citrusy and fruity, and still got some sweetness and body in there. I would give this a pretty good rating. I would give it like 87 or something. It's kind of right up my alley, and makes me really want to try the pineapple and mango versions of this one, the Juice Makers. So yeah, we'll do 87 for Waymaker Brett IPA. Bye.